All right, today we're jumping into a really beautiful poetic text. It gives us this unique portrait of the figure of Isa, or Jesus. Now, this isn't a history lesson. It's more of a spiritual reflection, written in verse, and it kicks off with a really powerful idea.
So let's just dive right in with the opening lines. The poem starts by taking us from something abstract to something very, very real. You have this idea of a witness or a mirror, something that just reflects truth. And then boom, suddenly it's not a reflection anymore. It's embodiment. It's mercy walking. It's a living, breathing reality. And that idea really frames this entire story.
Okay, so our first stop is going to be exploring how the text describes this embodiment. It presents a creation story that's pretty miraculous, and it really challenges our whole idea of where things come from.
Right from the get-go, the poem makes something crystal clear. Isa's origin is totally unique. It's not a product of the desire of flesh, but a direct result of a command of truth. This one distinction is so important because it shapes everything else that follows.
And the way this happens, it's described with this beautiful, almost stark simplicity. A single command is given, be, and just like that, from that one word, a form emerges. And, as the text points out, it happens without breaking purity. It's this vision of creation that is both totally instantaneous and completely immaculate.
So what's the big takeaway here? According to the poem, the whole point of this miracle was to show humanity something crucial, that the divine isn't limited by our laws of nature. Origin, biology, the way things usually work, none of that can bind God.
All right, so you have this really unique origin story. Natural question is, how does that actually shape his character? Well, the poem suggests that because he comes from a place beyond our normal limits, he has a voice that's free from our common human fears. And we see that in his very first words.
What's really fascinating here is that even from the cradle, his purpose is outward-focused. The poem says he speaks not to defend himself against all the accusations, but to protect his mother, Miriam. So his very first act is an act of service to someone else.
And this, right here, this is his mission statement. Before he does a single miracle, before anyone can stick a label on him, prophet, king, threat, whatever, he defines himself. His entire identity is rooted in this one relationship, being a servant to God. It's a powerful declaration of who he answers to.
He then talks about these three huge moments in any life: birth, death, and what comes next. But listen to the tone. There's zero anxiety, no fear. The poem describes it like he's looking at these events from a place that's totally beyond the grip of time.
And this is where that incredible peace comes from. The text is basically saying that when you're truly anchored in God, all the big things that usually shake us, birth, death, the scary unknowns of the future, they lose their power. They just become certainties inside a bigger divine plan, not threats to be afraid of.
So this internal anchor, this fearlessness, it translates directly into how he moves through the world. The poem has this great phrase for it. It calls it a walk without armor, meaning he's not defensive. There's no pretense.
The poem gives us this beautiful list, almost like a summary of his entire ministry. It's all about pure giving. He heals but doesn't claim ownership over the person. He teaches without trying to dominate them. He loves without any conditions. His whole purpose is to soften what's become hard and to open up what's been closed off.
I love this line from the poem. Just 2 words, but they say so much, right? He is completely present and engaged with all the suffering in the world, but at the same time, he remains free. He's not consumed or broken by it.
Now, this is where the poem does something really interesting. It zooms out, way out, and connects the spiritual posture of Isa to a distant land, one that, it suggests, echoes the very same kind of faith.
So the text points to Ethiopia as a symbol of pure worship. It says their faith isn't asserted through force or winning intellectual debates. It's shown through simple, humble receptiveness. That image of open palms, it just perfectly suggests a posture of surrender and trust.
And then, bam, the poem connects it right back. It says this spiritual stance of Ethiopia, this trust, humility, and surrender, is the exact same posture that Isa embodied.
And this leads to such a profound idea, right? The poem is suggesting that the core of truth, of real faith, can show up in different places, in different scriptures, and it can still recognize itself. It's this beautiful vision of spiritual connection across any kind of tradition or distance.
All right, for our final section, the poem brings everything back home. It's all about what this divine message really means for us as we try to live our own lives.
So it kind of lays out this spiritual map that's now been revealed to us. You've got the human condition, the fall. You have the path back, the return, which is what Isa showed. And then you have the result of that journey, the clear heart.
But here's the twist, and it's probably the most critical takeaway in the whole poem. Getting that clear heart isn't the final goal. It's not about achieving some personal purity so you can escape from the world. No, that clarity is meant to be a compass to help you navigate through the world.
And that's really the question the poem leaves us with. After seeing this incredible portrait of embodiment, of fearlessness, of compassion, what does it mean for us? How do we take that kind of clarity and actually walk through the mess and complexity of our own lives? It's a question that brings this whole spiritual journey right back home.